Hello! Today I'm going to be swatching out my entire Holo Taco collection. I have been shopping from Holo Taco since the second release that they ever did of their glitters for the holiday season, the year that they opened, and I've had highs and lows with the brand. So today I'm going to walk you through every shade, talk about my thoughts for each of them, and then we'll wrap up with my thoughts on the brand overall. Before we get into swatches, a little bit of context. I have very short nails. You can see right now I've got some cute little soot sprites on for the new year, but I have very short nails. I was a nail biter for, my whole life. And I have very damaged nails as a result. I stopped biting my nails during the COVID-19 pandemic for good, but I still have the effects from biting my nails for so long. So my nails split really easily. That's why I keep them so short, is because they get damaged. You can kind of see on my raw nail that's chipped off here how split it is. I also have very deeply ridged nails. So when I paint my nails, it can be really tough for color to lay evenly. So it's kind of a good measure for how well a polish truly performs. I definitely don't have perfect nails. I also am a cuticle picker. I struggle with ADHD and anxiety and all of that good stuff. So if cuticles being a little messed up is a problem for you, maybe not the swatch video to watch, but I have a ton of other ones that I'll recommend down in the description box. So if you want to see my full Holo Taco collection swatched, then go ahead and just keep on watching. Oops, and subscribe. I'm a huge advocate for rainbow order, and so we're going to walk through my collection in the order of the rainbow. I will try to leave timestamps down below if there's a specific polish you want to know about. To get us started, I'm going to walk through all of my Holo Taco toppers first. I did declutter one topper. It was another one of the unicorn skins, but I had two polishes, like two of those toppers that were very similar, and the Holo Taco had a little less in it, so I decided to give that one away to a friend, but we're just gonna walk through all the ones I have here in front of me. So first up is Disco Dust. This is a multicolored reflective glitter topper. It has silver and pink in it. That's really all that I can see. Something to know about reflective glitters is that you only will really see like the super special quality directly in flash photography. So if you are not going to be using flash, then it's just going to look kind of like a regular delicate sparkle. It's also worthwhile to know that reflective glitters dry with a lot of texture. Flaky hollow. So this is one of the very first polishes that I got from my first order from Holo Taco, and I like it, but again, I'm not sure if it's worth the $13. It is interesting. It has like a larger particle than a lot of other Holo toppers that I've seen, and so that does make it unique when I'm trying to dupe things out. But for the most part, I'm not sure if the average person is going to need like a bunch of different Holo toppers. Everything Taco is a polish that I originally missed out on when it came out as a part of a limited edition release. I was so happy that they brought this back. In my opinion, this is the topper that's worth it. It's got like all of the unicorn skins and all of the different holographic toppers all in one, and it is just so fabulous. I'm not sure if you can see, it provides quite a bit of coverage over dark colors where you can really see all of those different iridescent pieces. So I've still got two of the Aurora unicorn skins in my collection. The first one that I have is Aurora unicorn skin. This goes from more of a blue to a purple to a pink, and then on the harshest edges I can even get a little bit of gold to show up. I do think that these are nice toppers. There are a lot of brands that do this kind of topper, and Holo Taco definitely is one of the more expensive. The other topper that I have is the Sonic Unicorn Skin. This one is a vivid blue that shifts maybe a touch purple in extreme angles, but really the blue is the star of the show in this one, and it is really beautiful. Okay, so now moving into standard polishes. The first polish that I have is Holo Taco One Coat Black. Now, this is a polish that I did not pick up originally. I actually just got this polish as part of my Black Friday order, and the reason for that is because I had a black polish. It was Black Onyx from OPI, and it was way less expensive, but after having done like a gajillion nail swatches and having to do coat after coat of black to build it up, I was like, okay, enough is enough. And I gotta say, the hype is real with this one. It truly is one coat. It lays down so evenly, even on my little janky fingernails, and I am a total fan. Alien Invasion is the shade that brought me back to Holo Taco. When this collection came out, I instantly fell in love with the shade. It is like a cool gray, a little bit blue toned with a really nice green shimmer on top. It shifts maybe a little bit pink, but it is so subtle. It's mostly that vibrant green, and then it's got a very delicate kind of scattered hollow throughout it as well. I searched high and low for a very close dupe for this shade because I didn't love the Holo Taco formula, but I loved the shade, and I just couldn't find one. So eventually I ended up making a purchase during their anniversary sale. Something else that I think is useful to note here is, like I said, I was apprehensive to repurchase from the brand because I had such problems with application. But by the time I bought this polish, they had switched over to the wide brushes, and it is such a game changer to have that wide brush. I actually have taken all of my original Holo Taco brushes and completely gotten rid of them and replaced them with wide flat brushes. As a note, Holo Taco's brush replacements are way too expensive, in my opinion. Emily de Molly is an indie brand that is available in the United States, even though it's an Australian brand. They have a warehouse here, so you don't have to pay exorbitant shipping, and they sell like 60 packs of replacement brushes for like 10 bucks that fit the Holo Taco brushes. So if you have Holo Taco shades with the old brushes, I recommend the Emily de Molly replacement brushes because they're just so much cheaper and they work. The shade Beach Please I got as a freebie with an order, and it is really nice. It is an interesting color. On my skin tone, it doesn't work super well. My fingers like tend to lean very pink around my fingernail, and so a cool kind of sandy color like this really emphasizes that pink in what I consider to be a pretty unflattering way. But if you have olive skin and you don't have like pink kind of around your fingernails, oh my gosh, I think that this would look so pretty on anyone with like a green undertone. Beyond that, I do think that it's going to be very useful for sand in nail art. It too has a grainy texture because it is the glitter formula. This next shade is Haute Couture, and this is one of the scattered hollows from the Coffee collection. This is a very like pinky kind of beige color, definitely leans pink, and I think it's really pretty. Now, I was just talking about how the shade Beach Please is a little too sandy for my undertone. In comparison, Haute Couture is very complimentary on my skin tone, and I really enjoy it. I also do like the scattered hollow, kind of crushed hollow formula from Holo Taco. I don't think it's the same in all of the polishes. Maybe it's just that the ones with shimmer kind of lessen the hollow in a way, but I do really like the crushed hollow without the shimmer in it. I think it's just very sparkly. Play Rosé, oh my gosh, what a beautiful shade. The glitter formula from Holo Taco is my favorite, and I've heard some people say that they're like retiring all of the glitter shades, which I really hope is not true, because this, in my opinion, is the most special and unique formula from Holo Taco. Play Rosé is a very true kind of rose gold kind of shade with that beautiful hollow glitter in it. I have a love-hate relationship with this formula because I did not originally know that some nail polish thinners eat glitters. This is something I actually learned from Linry too, so shout out to Linry. So because these polishes get thick so quickly, I bought some nail polish thinner on Amazon, and it ended up eating like all of my glitters, and now they are like so low and there's barely any left, and I treasure them because of that. But just note, if you're going to get any of the glitters, KB Shimmer has a very affordable nail polish thinner that is safe to use with these glitter polishes. Now, if the glitter formula is my favorite formula, Choco Holo is my favorite glitter, aka it's basically my favorite polish from Holo Taco. It has a really deep, neutral jelly brown base with a beautiful gold glitter throughout that gives it so much dimension and just makes it really unique to anything else I have. Normally I feel like those glitters are either the same color as the base or are silver in a base to kind of give them a different color. I've never seen gold hollow glitters like this in a polish, and so I think it's just gorgeous. I have seen like a gold hollow glitter on its own, but never like with the brown. Need I Say Mocha is another polish that I got in as a gift with purchase, and it's from that same scattered crushed hollow coffee collection. This one has a very deep brown, and I don't know if it's the crushed hollow on top or the actual base itself, but something about this is kind of giving like a cooler brown to me, especially compared to the brown with gold that we just saw in Choco Holo. This one has the same formula. I really enjoy it. There really isn't much else to say about it. We have come across our first linear holo from the Holo Taco lineup. This is the shade Crimson Void. It was from their Dark Rainbow collection, and I really enjoy this shade. It's a very deep kind of burgundy red. But something to note is that Holo Taco's linear formula is pretty expensive for what it is. Now, there is a certain population who I do think that this price tag is worth it for. If you are someone who either A, does not like to do a bunch of coats of nail polish, or B, does nail art, then I can see why the Holo Taco linear formula would be really useful for you. The Holo Taco linears like blend really well together. You can use them on a little blending sponge to create like an ombre, and it will retain its color and holo, whereas other brands like IL and P don't play as well together in that nail art kind of way. Similarly, this is a really thick and saturated formula, and so if you don't want to do a bunch of coats or you want to do some sort of nail stamping, then again, I could see the utility in a thicker formula like this. And we're back to the glitters. You're gonna notice I have a lot of the glitter polishes from Holo Taco because, like I said before, it is one of my favorite finishes. This is the shade Plumb Luck, and it is about as close of a comparison to the shade Crimson Void as you could get. It's just in a different finish. This one is that same deep burgundy base with a red and purple glitter in it, it looks like, at least to my naked eye. That's kind of what I'm seeing here in front of me. And oh my gosh, again, beautiful, love it. This whole collection, this was like the collection that I came the closest to buying the whole collection for, but I mean, that's expensive. So I just picked a couple that I liked the most. Party Punch is another glitter finish. This is from that very first lineup and is one of the shades that I picked up at the very beginning. This is, in my opinion, a red polish with a pink undertone, like a cooler undertone. Now, there's a huge debate about whether or not this polish is red or pink. So if you think it's more of a hot pink, I totally see you and hear you, and you are allowed to think that, but in my head, I always categorize this with my reds. It has a glitter that matches the color in the base, and so there's no contrasting or anything like that, but it is a real beauty. Jam Session. So this is a shade from the summer collection this year, and this is one of these shades in the Crushed Holo formula that does have a shimmer in it as well. And I'm not sure if it's like the more colorful base or the shimmer edition or what, but to me, something about the Crushed Holo in this collection feels way more muted than the coffee collection. So I'm not really sure why. This shade has what I would say is a warm burnt orange leaning on red base with a pink shimmer on top. That pink shimmer shifts a little bit more like reddy pink from purpley pink, but it kind of all stays in that same color category. I also picked up this shade Sunshine Crush from the same collection, and I've worn them as a manicure together, and every time I do, I feel like I am serving accidental McDonald's. Zyler the Cat is a bright kind of yellowy orange glitter polish. Again, the glitters match the base color in this one, so no dimension in this glitter in the way that you would see in like Choco Holo or even Plumb Luck, but it is still gorgeous. This is such a unique color for a glitter. I don't see a lot of brands doing this kind of golden orange, and as an orange cat owner, I felt as though I had to support poor Zyler because Menchie gets all the love and Zyler is left by the wayside. So shout out to all the Zyler cats out there. With some thinner, these polishes do work a lot better. Okay, so we were just talking about Sunshine Crush a little bit. This to me is a straight up gold. It is like a deeper kind of gold, but I do not see orange in this. I know some people say that they do. I think where that might be coming from is there is a red to gold shift in the shimmer that's in this polish, and so that can kind of make it look a little bit more orange, but the base of this is as pretty regular of a yellow gold as you can get, in my opinion. And out of all of them, this is the one that the holo looks the dullest to me. Okay, so I know that earlier I was singing the praises of One Coat Black and saying that it deserves all the hype, but I have something controversial to say. I don't like the Holo Taco creams overall. Banana Hacks was the first one I got. I got it when the very first creams launched. To me, it is just patchy. It takes way too many applications to get it to be completely opaque, especially on my less than stellar nails. For the price tag, there are just a million other brands that you can get a cream from that has a very similar color and a way better formula and a better price tag. Menchie Cat Eye was another Black Friday pickup for me. I know that people don't like the Holo Taco Magnetics. I have to say personally, when I was swatching out the shade for this video, I was really impressed. I thought that the magnetic pigment was pretty reactive. I thought that it had a really interesting kind of disparity between that deeper sage green and like the gold leaning green magnetic pigment. I really like the scattered holo in it as well. It kind of adds something a little different and extra, which is who I am as a person. Different and extra are like the top two words to describe me. So I really enjoyed it. Now, is it the most special shade? Probably not, but I do think that it's cool in that it looks really good just on its own. Velvet, it looks cool, but maybe not worth the hassle, and then the cat eye looks fabulous as well. Also, if you're curious about the horseshoe magnet that I am using in this video, it is from Amazon, and I got it before I think they marked up the price. I got it for like, I think like 20 bucks, which is still pretty expensive. But I do think that ILNP is going to start selling these horseshoe magnets in way cuter colors. soon. They're not out yet, but if this is a style that you're interested in, keep an eye out because that's probably going to be one of your better options if you want this type of magnet. Now, we must all take a moment of silence for Holo Taco Full Charge. This collection I thought was really good when it came out. I think it was called the Electrostatic Collection or something like that. I really toiled over whether to get the blue from that collection as well, but I went with the green, and I'm really happy that I did because that green is gone now. You can't buy this one anymore. If you are looking for a good dupe, I believe that there are a couple creators that have videos looking for the closest comparison to this shade. Off the top of my head, I feel pretty certain that ILNP has something that's similar. In color, it might be more of a scattered holo than a straight up linear, but if you don't really care about that, then definitely a good alternative. Lost in the Woods is another one from my Black Friday pickup this year, and this shade I was influenced to get because of Polished Yogi. She mentioned she was going to get this, and I was like, oh, I hadn't even considered that shade. That actually is very nice, and so I now own it too. It is a very dark green, and again, something about this one in the base definitely leans a little bit blue to me. I think maybe it's just the deepness kind of pulls out those cooler tones across the board in all of these shades, but I do think that this could be like classified as green leaning on teal. Again, the formula is very nice. If you wanted to, you could probably get away with wearing both of this and Crimson Void in one coat. And like I said, it's a very nice formula. It's just a matter of if you feel as though the price tag is warranted considering all of the different holo options out there nowadays. Another cream, and this one I got for free. I think this might have been my birthday polish this year. Shout out to the Geminis out in the world. So this is the shade Crime and Punishmint, haha, get it? And it is a pretty true mint shade. I had just bought Mooncat's Neverland during their sale when I then got this as a birthday polish, and they are so similar. This one has a touch more blue in it, but if you own Mooncat Neverland, feel good in knowing that you can skip out on Holo Taco Crime and Punishment. Now, this one does have a better formula than the Banana Hacks shade, which makes sense. Yellows are notoriously difficult to formulate, but I still don't know if it's such a good cream that it would be worth the exorbitant price tag attached to it. Well, if you couldn't tell, I have been watching a lot of Linry. I find her so entertaining. This is another Linry-inspired pickup from my Black Friday order. This is the shade Lite Link. It is a kind of turquoisey blue, maybe leaning a little sky blue. It looks a little bit more like true blue in the base rather than warm like a turquoise, but then it has this green shimmer on top. It really is kind of like a green to blue, very vaguely, but mostly you're getting that green. I think that they were calling this a multi-chrome at some point, and I don't think it's a multi-chrome, but I do think it's really pretty, and I'm happy to have it. Ah, Frostlight, we hardly knew ye. This is, again, another one from that OG glitter collection. It is really, really pretty. A light blue with blue and silver holo glitters in there. This is another one that I've completely wrecked from adding the wrong kind of nail polish thinner to, so RIP to me. But this is a really pretty one. I wish that they still were going to be continuing on selling it. I understand that the formula is kind of a pain, so, you know, I can get why it might not be popular with everyone, but wow, I mean, it's just gorgeous. There's nothing else I can really say about it. Mist Shift. When Holo Taco came out with their multi-chromes, this was the one I decided to pick up and try from that collection. It is a very classic multi-chrome, black base with a teal to blue to purple to slightly pink kind of shift in it. I really love this polish because I am married, though I do not wear my ring in most of my stuff. My engagement ring has an alexandrite stone, and my wedding ring has alexandrite. This matches my rings perfectly. It is like the same exact shift as my rings, and so I love it for that reason. A controversial take is that when the Birthstone collection came out, I was really tempted to buy the shade that was based on Alexandrite. But in my opinion, it is basically the shade Mischief with a few little things on top, like a Flakie and a Holo, both of which I could just add on top of Mist Shift if I really want to. Midnight Owl was another one from my Black Friday pickup. This is another one of the glitters. It came out while I was not supporting Holo Taco and taking a little bit of a break, so I had never gotten it, but the color speaks to me. It is like an indigo, leaning more purple, I would say personally. And again, it looks like to me the glitters in this are mostly silver, and they're kind of relying on that base color to mask them and help blend them in. Regardless, it's gorgeous. I mean, it is just so pretty. I have it in my winter rotation for the time being, and I'm really excited about that. Honestly, it would have looked great with the manicure that I have on while I'm doing this voiceover. I think you would have seen it at the beginning, hopefully, or else that part makes no sense. Overall, again, very true to the rest of the glitter formula. It has those different sizes of glitter particles scattered out throughout to kind of help give it a little bit of dimension. I do feel like this one maybe has a little less glitter overall than some of the predecessors, but that also could just have to do with the fact that like all of my glitters have been eaten down to like the very last little bit of glitter, so they're very dense at this point. Just like with Plumb Luck and Crimson Void being the same shade, I would argue that Violet Nightmares is basically the same color as Midnight Owl, except just in a linear formula instead of the glitter formula. Still, I think that this is a very pretty deep purple, definitely leaning a little bit more bluey indigo kind of shade, but it is a purple. Like if you looked at this, you'd be like, that is a purple. It just has a little bit of blue splashed in there somewhere. Just like all the others, this could probably be one coat on most people, including myself, which is crazy because, again, very bad nails. I cannot express to you guys enough how deeply ridged my nails are. But I don't really have much else to say about it, you know? At this point, we've kind of explored the formula in a lot of different shades. Okay, so Iron Violet is a shade that a lot of people, it seems like, don't like, and they didn't like this formula because it shows any piece of texture on your nails. For me, I'm so used to my nails showing texture that like having it with this polish in particular wasn't like a huge downside to me because I'm more used to it. But I can see how like if you're someone with perfect nails, you don't want your nails to look imperfect. I really enjoy this. I think chrome finishes are super cool. This one has a very deep base when it is outside of the light, but because of that chrome finish, it has so much dimension. It looks like it's like 3 shades lighter when the light hits it, and I just love it. Lavender Syrup is another just really pretty color. There's just no getting around it. It is about as true of a lilac as you can get in that classic linear formula. Again, a lavender, in my opinion, seems to be a pretty popular polish shade, and so there are probably a ton of different lavender holos on the market that you could pick from. But if you do go with this one, I think that you'll enjoy it. I think the formula is great, and the price tag is just a little steep. I remember when this collection came out, though, I was so conflicted over which one to pick up, and I am really happy with that choice. Okay, Party of One Purple. Now, you all may be surprised when I tell you, I picked this up during Black Friday because at this point I was curious. I was like, okay, Crime and Punishment seems better than Banana Hacks. So which one is the outlier? Is it Banana Hacks or is it Crime and Punishment? And I think it's Banana Hacks. I actually think that out of the 3 colorful creams that I have, Party of One Purple probably has the best formula. There's something almost a little crelly about it, at least in like those first 2 coats. I like it. I mean, the color is just really pretty. It's different than anything I have, although again, I'm not willing to say it's unique, you know. Woo! We have made it to the end. The last polish. This is Magenta Jelly from the original Rainbow Linear Holo collection. And again, I was tormented trying to figure out which one of these to pick up. I decided to go with Magenta Jelly, and I think it was a great choice. It is a very interesting magenta color, although magenta, to me, when I hear magenta, I think of magenta from Blue's Clues, and I don't think that this color is magenta in the same way, but I do think that it is like more traditionally magenta in that it is right in between a purple and a pink. In my head, I normally categorize this with my warm purples when I'm like organizing all my nail polishes, but I could see people making an argument for either, just like with Party Punch. This is actually the shade that turned me off of Holo Taco, because with the skinny brush and the thicker formula, I would constantly flood my cuticles, and I don't really do that a whole lot. So it was a really frustrating experience for me trying to paint my nails with this color, because I was like, it looks so pretty, but it looks like I murdered someone every time I put it on. I'm very glad. I can't say it enough. I'm glad that they switched brush types, and I do think that switching out my brush for this one has made painting my nails with this polish way more enjoyable. Woo! That was a lot of nail polish to swatch. I hope that you found this helpful and that it helped to see these polishes swatched on some imperfect fingernails. If you have any recommendations from Holo Taco that I don't have here in front of me, go ahead, leave a comment down below. Just leave your thoughts on Holo Taco. I promised that I would give you mine, and so let's talk about it a little bit. So for a few years, it felt like the releases that Holo Taco was coming out with were to compete with other finishes on the market from other brands and just kind of filling out their lineup, which makes a ton of sense to me. I am really happy that we are now in the era of Holo Taco doing more interesting collections, like the I Need Space one that came out early last year. Oh my gosh, I thought that collection was gorgeous. I do find it a little frustrating that because they were using the earlier collections as a way to build out formulas and finishes and colors, that they've discontinued a lot of those. I think that it kind of defeated the purpose of what they were doing originally to begin with, but that's just me. I also am a huge Christine fan. I really love watching her on Snapchat. I'm not really a streamer, so I don't watch her stream most of the time, but I'll watch some of the compilations, and I've enjoyed getting to know her on YouTube. And I think that that is definitely an element of me enjoying and coming back to Holo Taco. I do think that overall, just kind of objectively, Holo Taco is overpriced. For the size of bottle, it's the same size as ILNP, and it is like typically $3 to $6 more than ILNP, which is kind of crazy. I also do really appreciate that ILNP keeps all of their shades. Not all, but I mean, they have over 600 and they're still adding more, and they keep full collections. So I do like that they do that, and I wish that Holo Taco did as well. I don't know the business side of things, so there could be a completely rational reason why they don't, but it's something that has left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth overall. I also personally find it really frustrating how many limited edition releases Holo Taco does. Every year there's one for the birthday, which makes sense, but then there's also these new declassifieds that they do, and you're not sure if they're going to stay or leave, and it just feels like more and more collections, especially with things getting discontinued every year, you never know what's going to stay, and I don't like that. I would rather have my time and get to make an order when I'm ready to make it, so that way I can get free shipping and get the shades I actually want, rather than feel like I need to rush out and get it while it's still available. So personally, that's not something I love about the brand. I am happy that they do rewards now. That is really nice to see as someone who's been shopping from them for a long time, and I just appreciate generally when companies do that. I don't know if they have the best reward system in my opinion, but it is nice, and I'm glad that they've made that step. Overall, I think that Holo Taco is a good brand. You know that you're going to get at least a decent quality polish most of the time. There are a few outliers, but it seems like their customer service is really receptive to that sort of thing. And I'm excited to see where they go in the future. I really hope it's more collections like I Need Space, and less like the rainbow collections that we've seen every summer for forever. Even as someone who loves rainbow stuff, I like the variety. I like having more options and getting to see a vision that's a little bit more interesting. Really though, that's all I have to say on it. If you have any thoughts, like I said before, leave them in the comments below. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it and subscribe. I would love to boost up my subscriber number a little bit, especially as I'm diving into more and more nail polish content. So if that's something you're interested in, stick around. I have more coming. But until I see you next time, I hope that you stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Bye!